Rob Williams is the national sports editor of the Daily Hive and its offside sports vertical. We've missed him over the last couple of weeks, so it was time to bring him back, and earlier than his usual Thursday with us. Rob, how are you?
Doing great, guys. How are you?
Yeah.
Good.
We saw you at the basketball game last night. More on that in a moment. But first, we have breaking news on a promise broken from Canucks Sports and Entertainment.
The seat beat. You guys thought it was over. It's not over. Didn't we have this conversation in like June or July? And you guys were like, well, the seat beat, like it's over now. You're not going to have anything.
They're clearly going to be done. Yeah.
And I believe my response was, well, let's see. Let's see if it's ready in time. I think my prediction then was it wouldn't be ready for preseason, but it would be for opening night. And they are darn close to having the seats ready for opening night. 95% done, maybe. But there are some prominent seats in one end of the rink on the Zamboni entrance side. There are those temporary seats with the metal floors.
Yes.
Those are still maroon, and I don't see any way that they replace those before opening night. And
was Jim Benning the contractor? Did he just run out of time again?
It's incredible, right? Like they've had so much time to do this. And of course they're not ready.
Why are they so bad operationally? Like, I don't remember this when Harvey Jones was running the arena. Why?
They didn't. Someone missed an assignment, I guess, there. I don't know why they're not ready. I've asked questions about the seats. The Canucks don't seem to want to talk about the seats.
Oh, believe it or not.
right now. They, despite all the seat hype videos that we've seen in recent months. Hey, the vast majority of the seats are ready. People seem happy with them. There are cup holders, but yeah, they're missing a spot.
Right.
And it's
gonna look awful. And you've basically got a second tier of fans there who have to suffer those. I sure hope they do something nice for the people who have to sit in the old maroon seats.
Yeah, and credit to, I know PJ's done some reporting on this as well, that some fans have received emails from the Canucks offering them, food and beverage credits, I guess for the people that have to sit in one of the old seats, kind of as a make good offer from the organization. And I know that some people were told that they're not going to be ready until the Olympic break. So you got to wait all the way till February. So
what?
There's going to be
that's February, man.
Let's see if they do it any quicker. But I think
4 months.
Yeah, I think we're going to be looking at that one patch of maroon for
4 months.
For most of this.
That's
season.
an NFL season. I mean, dear God. Have you noticed anything else about the building that'll be different for Thursday? I know you're an eagle eye there.
More maroon seats, just all of the temporary seats. The seat I was sitting on was an old Orca Bay vintage seat. Those are my favorite. The one that has the
okay,
Orca
but these
Bay
are the
rail.
fold. These are the fold. Okay.
So the fold up, they're I don't know if they're planning to get some more black seats for the fold up chairs, but the fold up chairs are still maroon as well.
30-year-old maroon chairs with the former corporate logo on it.
Yeah, but in fairness, that's only for media guys sitting courtside at a basketball game. So who cares about them?
Now here's something for the everyman. I've got to do some. I snapped a couple pictures. I always like to take inventory on the beer prices each season because they usually go up. I've still got to do the comparison to what they were before. But keep an eye out for that. It might be a Daily Hive article coming soon.
There you go. And we love those Daily Hive articles. How are you feeling about this team on the eve of the season, Rob?
Feeling pretty optimistic about them, to be honest. I feel like they're flying under the radar, and I think that's a really good thing for them. If you look at all the betting sites, like nobody's picking them.
Nobody regards them. No.
Yeah, I think the consensus from like the odds makers right now is that they're probably a bubble team and probably will miss. I think the opposite. I think they're better than they were a year ago. Certainly not on forward, at least not on paper. But they, even think about what they started with last year. I mean, Danton Heinen, he's not in the league anymore. Daniel Sprong was on the second line. It was on the second line. He's not, he's not an NHL player anymore. Their defense was in shambles. I like their defense a whole lot more this season than I did at the start of last season. I like their goaltending a whole lot better at the start of this season than I did at the start of last season. Thatcher Demko, I mean, throughout preseason, he looks like the old Demko. Is Elias Pettersson going to return to form? I think the odds are better that yes rather than no. I'm not terribly impressed with Arshdeep Bains on a second line. There's definitely some concerns, I think, with their forward group. I do feel like the way that they're setting up their forwards right now is to have one first line and 3 third lines. like we might see like Teddy Bluger, Kiefer Sherwood, and Drew O'Connor. I could see that line playing the second most minutes and being kind of a reliable checking line. So obviously not ideal on the forward ranks, but if you look at just how everything went last season, just about everything went wrong for them and they hit 90 points. So what happens just removing the drama from the JT Miller, Elias Pettersson experience? How many points is that worth? How many points is having a healthy Thatcher Demko back in the fold? The vibes are better. Perhaps the coaching change with Adam Foote. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns here that could go the other way. It could go off the rails a little bit. But I just view this as you've got this mostly the same core group of players as you did a year ago. Everything went wrong last year. I just don't think everything is going to go wrong this year. And I think that's going to be worth a big improvement in the standings. Again, everything went wrong and they were a 90-point team. I think they're probably a 100-point team. And I think they could challenge for third place in their division this season. I think at worst, they're a bubble wildcard team. So
arguing against you though, 10 different guys, 10 different guys from last year to this on opening night. I mean, that's tough to just add to 90 points. It's a different team.
Absolutely it is. But I think that they've made improvements. I think that part of this is also just like vibes. Yes. I know that's not like a really analytical reason.
Not very sensitive.
We talked about that at Yellow Dog though, Rob, like the vibes,
vibes
in a
matter,
regular,
right?
Well, that's it. In a regular year with a bunch of happy guys at training camp, I typically wouldn't put a lot of stock in that because everybody's happy at training camp, or at least preseason once you're through the bag skate of training camp, because it's a new season, everybody's a contender. But you're right about the important context of last year, a year from hell. So, I think just having that weight off shoulder, I'm factoring in vibes this year, whereas I normally wouldn't factor in vibes.
I think we're also going to see a lot of energy infused into this group from all the new guys. And I speak about the guys that are either rookies or second year guys or whatever the NHL classifies them as. But they've got a lot of guys that have never been full-time NHL players before. And I think you're going to see a lot of energy out of the Linus Karlssons, the Arshdeep Bains, Jonathan Lekaramaki, Braden Coots, Steve Petey, like Atu Ratu, like whoever's in the lineup at any given moment. I think you're going to be seeing them really coming out of the gates with a ton of adrenaline. And contrast that with guys that they had at the start of last season, the Danton Heinens, the Daniel Sprongs, the Vinny Desharnais. I think that you're going to see a real boost of enthusiasm here. Part of that is like these guys are untested, they're unproven. but I think we saw enough out of the guys that really succeeded in Abbotsford last year. And when I think about Baines and Carlson, I haven't necessarily loved them at the NHL level yet, but I think that they're going to take that extra step here. And I think we saw it during the Calder Cup playoffs last year. These guys are ready for that next step, and I think they're gonna add something to this group. If they all buy into Adam Foote's system, and I don't have any reason to believe that they wouldn't, I think that there's going to be a lot more things that go right this year than they did 1 year ago.
Okay, then hit me with that prediction that you were on the verge of before you were so rudely interrupted by Blake Price.
Let's say I'm saying 100-point season, and I'm saying that they're going to edge out the LA Kings for third in the Pacific Division, and we're going to get a first-round matchup against Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers because the Vegas Golden Knights are going to finish first.
Answer the poll question then in follow-up. What's the realistic goal then? Is it just making those playoffs that you talked about, or is it beyond that?
I mean, the goal is convince Quinn Hughes to re-sign with the Vancouver Canucks. And I think the thing that might be able to do that, if it is possible still, maybe he's just going either way, would be the Canucks overachieving, having a really excellent season. And furthermore to that, having the young guys really make contributions. Braden Coots, if he can play a full season at the NHL level and really show great signs for the future, showing signs that, hey, maybe not this season, but maybe next season he's a second line center for you. That would be, that these are like best case scenario things here, right? Jonathan Lekkerimäki, can he score 20 goals? DPD, is he a top 4 defenseman by the end of the year? Like these are, I'm very optimistic here in early October.
My goodness.
We'll see how I'm speaking in 1 week from now. But these are the things that I think if you're a Canucks fan and you're really hoping, what are your big hopes for this season? What were the best case scenario things? It's that more things go right for you, your star players return to form, and a bunch of these young guys really show that they're ready for this, because we don't know necessarily if they are ready for this yet. But what a great boost that would be if you all of a sudden have all these hopes with these young guys and they show reason, not necessarily that they're going to be like world beaters in this season, but show that real promise that they can do something significant at the NHL level in 2-3 years from now.
We know you took in the Raptors preseason game, the NBA Canada series last night at Rogers Arena, as did Thomas Muller and a number of the Whitecaps. Now, I'm not sure about the footwear there, Thomas. That looks like a European loafer, and I'm not sure that's what you're going to need shooting those 3-pointers. Rob?
No socks. That's tough. That's going to change.
Boy. Yeah. Rob, 18,600 plus at the game last night. They sell it out every single year. They do have a Larry O'Brien trophy in the case. And, of course, there's another Toronto team that is gaining a lot of traction here this month in our city and across the land with their performance in the baseball playoffs. Quite simply, Rob, all these years later, because we were an NBA town with a team at one point, is Vancouver a Raptors town now?
Without a doubt, it is a Raptors town. And I've thought this for many years. The Raptors visit to Vancouver, this is one of my favorite events of the year. I mean, it's not quite an annual visit, but it's pretty close. They do such a good job with it. It does not feel like a preseason game when they come to town. They come with all the bells and whistles. They bring their own PA announcer. They bring the dance squad. They bring the DJ. They kind of do all.
They bring the Raptor and all his antics, right?
Yes, super fan Nav Bhatia comes for this every single.
Did he really?
Yeah, good for Nav.
Yeah, he's there every single time, and so I have a great time with it. The crowd support is always very enthusiastic. These are not just like casual fans that sort of walk in. Like there's a lot of Raptors gear in the crowd. There were some Nuggets fans as well at this one, but this is not like mostly neutral crowd. Like, these are basketball fans. These are generally Raptors fans. They cheer at the right moments. They are, Jamal Murray, got an extra loud, ovation, all that sort of stuff. But where this really caught me off guard was more so when they first started coming, like 2015, 2016. I think they came 2018. And that was before the Raptors had won the championship. And you saw that, like, this was a pro Raptors crowd. Like, these were a lot of fans wearing jerseys, wearing the merch. And for me, like, I hadn't quite jumped on the Raptors bandwagon at that time. And it was like, and I was like, wow, like, this is really, like, solidified it for me that this is, this is a Raptors town. Obviously, there's fans of all sorts of different teams. I know there's Raptors haters, but especially after winning the title in 2019, I think that it did a lot of, like, what the Blue Jays did, right? Like, there were Jays fans in Vancouver, but we are
25 years removed from the
25 years from the Grizzlies. So you have a couple of generations of young people who never knew the Grizzlies. I think the championship absolutely forged some new fans. It was an incredible run, of course. I mean, the drama of the Kawhi Leonard shot, and then, of course, you're playing Golden State in the final and all their star power. Right. So no,
but we have to separate this. We have to separate this from any thought that this support is indicative of this being an NBA market again, and that this will come back. It's not, though. That's an exclusive thought and an incorrect one. Correct, Rob?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest hurdle for Vancouver getting an NBA team is who's going to buy it, and do they need to build another arena? Because I think an NBA team's too rich for the Aquilinis at this point.
Oh, for sure.
And who wants to buy an NBA team and be a tenant of the Aquilinis at Rogers Arena? I think there's a huge stumbling block there. Like, you need a a billionaire that loves basketball and has a connection to Vancouver and really wants to make this happen. So until that happens, it's
a pipe.
We're just streaming. But in terms of, like, hey, is this a basketball town? Could this city support the NBA? I mean, we're showing all the signs that we can. I mean, every time the Raptors come here, even when they've had NBA preseason games here without the Raptors involved, we've had great fan support. So people continually support the NBA in Vancouver. So in that respect, if you look at the money that's in the city, you look at how Vancouver's grown just in sheer population, like the greater Vancouver area, where we're at a 3 million population city now. Compare that to some other cities around the NBA that have teams. I think it's not ideal that you'd be going head to head with the Canucks. Given that
that's why you need the common ownership. That's the only way that it works in this town. Being a hockey town, you'd need common ownership so they can work off each other.
Hold on. So the biggest obstacle to Vancouver getting an NBA team is Seattle, because that is a priority destination for the association over Vancouver right now. And of course, the second NBA expansion team, and I suspect it will be Vegas, but we shall see, is also a hurdle. So you're not looking at the next round of expansion. You are at best looking at relocation or expansion beyond that. I'll put this B in both of your bonnets. A really rich guy buys the Vancouver Canucks and then sets his sight on bringing an NBA team to his building.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Common ownership would be the only way, but the person that buys the Canucks has to be doubly rich to be able to afford both of those teams. So we're down to a list of about 3.
You kind of need a situation like they have in Utah, right? I don't think anybody was thinking that Utah was going to be an NBA and NHL, or Salt Lake City would be an NBA and NHL city.
Yeah, small city.
But you got the right owner there. You got someone that can build a practice facility in 1 year. He fixed the seats at the Delta Center as well. So yeah, they need a Ryan Smith type owner perhaps here that has the money to own both teams and build practice facilities at a snap of a finger. If you get somebody like that, then maybe it's possible.
Brian Hill, Aritzia net worth. Only $1.6 billion.
We're not there.
Mr. Hills needs a partner
Yeah.
Or some investors. Rob, wonderful stuff. Thank you for the time. Good to reconnect, my friend. We'll put you down for 100 points, third in the Pacific, and we'll catch up next Thursday.
Sounds great, guys.